Retain gang, what's poppin', man? This your boy Tay, back at y'all again with another video. Peace, love, and abundance to everybody that's watching. I appreciate you. If you want to support the channel, I'll leave all my links in my description. Make sure y'all check out the Retain Gang community, man. It's a live space where we learn, we help each other out. We do weekly calls, all right? So tap in with us. But I had a guy leave a comment, and he said there's some weird things that happens to him on his journey. All right, so I kind of wanted to not only answer his question, but I added on some other things as well that you might experience while you're on this journey. All right, so my man asked me, why is it that during a full moon, his energy is chaotic? He tends to relapse a lot. And that's funny because I've actually spoke about this in my group, and there's a lot of guys who have this same testimony. You know, the full moon, they start relapsing. They start having wet dreams, you know? So there's something to that. The full moon, remember the moon, the lunar cycle plays on the water of the earth, right? So that's what it controls. You'll notice during a full moon, the ocean tides get a little more aggressive. All right, that's because it tugs on the water, but it also tugs on us because we are like 80% water. So if it's able to control the ocean tides and make them more aggressive, chaotic, what do you think it does to us? We are one with the earth, right? So as above, so below. All right, we are not bigger than the program. You know what I mean? By us having so much water, and water esoterically represents emotions, the energy in motion, the flow, the stream. So if y'all notice, like people start acting crazy during full moons, this is why. Right now, a full moon is also a time where you're supposed to release stagnant energy, right? Because this is all your emotions boiling up to the surface. Everything that you've been through that lunar cycle comes to the surface on a full moon. So if your lunar cycle has been more negative than positive, you're going to experience negative emotions and vice versa. So a lot of you guys on your journey, your energy gets more chaotic because the tides are more aggressive. You see, and if you don't know how to transmute your energy, it's going to release because it's too much pressure. The full moon is like a glass that's full, and now it's time to release. Everything that you put in that glass has to come out now. You see what I'm saying? So this is why it's a perfect time for you guys that's struggling. You want to start letting go. You want to do some healing, some spiritual cleansing. All right, I told you guys how to do a spiritual bath. You know, that's also good for you to cleanse your aura. You know, scrub some of that rust off of you that you've been picking up throughout the week, throughout the month. Because you don't want that shit to play out in, you know, a relapse or play out in something chaotic that you wasn't ready for. That's what happens when we you know, give our attention to negative thoughts and negative energy for so long. You actually create that for yourself. And now it's about to manifest something that you had to experience. You know what I mean? So, you know, with your journey, you got to make sure that you take time out to really cleanse. I said this in my last video that you want to take time to reflect. Reflect on your day, each and every day. Before you go to bed, what did I do today? What could I have done better? You know, did I do everything I could possibly do today to evolve and grow? And then, hey, don't put too much pressure on yourself. If you could have done better, if you feel like it wasn't the best day, then make up for it tomorrow. Make up for it the next day. You see, but every single day that you record yourself and evaluate yourself, you get better and better and better. You know, you're making less mistakes, you're making less errors, but you gotta stay consistent with it. So if you guys are experiencing the relapses and hard to hold your urges during full moons, that's because it's playing on your emotions. If you've been lustful, if you've been doing things you shouldn't have been doing, it's gonna come to the surface. All right, so instead of you fighting against that, let it go. Get in your journal and start writing down some things you need to release. Start writing down some things that's been on your mind, that's been, you know, playing on your energy. so that you can release it, forgive yourself, forgive someone else, or just move on. All right. Another thing you might experience that's kind of strange on this journey is a lot of paranormal activity. You might start seeing some things, and you ain't going crazy. You're not going crazy. I know a lot of us, we didn't see shadow figures in our peripheral, and you was like, nah, that was just my imagination. Okay. You think that if you want to. Nah, that's you really seeing what's real. See, your sexual energy exposes everything, right? On this journey, not only do you expose people and their true intentions, you expose spirits as well. You're not going crazy. You're just seeing what's actually there. There's all type of energies and entities and spirits around you 24/7 that you can't see, but it's there. You know what I'm saying? It affects you. And your sexual energy activates you, your third eye especially, so that you can feel and see these spirits, these energies, these frequencies. So you might start seeing some things, man, and that's all you just getting back to your childlike self. I know when I was a kid, man, I saw stuff all the time. I used to see paranormal activity all the time, but I was a kid. I didn't really know what was going on, but I have the gift of seeing things. So I'm not just saying that you have to be on this journey to see paranormal activity, but it definitely helps. It activates you in a way that you're going to start seeing things that you didn't see before. You're going to start feeling things you never felt before. See, sexual energy is what makes the world go around. That's the spark of life. You being attractive is all dependent on your sexual energy. The more sexual energy you have, the more attractive you are. The less you have, the less attractive. That's why people with low libido, they're depressed, meaning they're at a low frequency. So everything is pertaining to your sexual energy because that's the creative force of life. See? So you're going to start seeing a lot of crazy, strange activity when you actually start respecting your energy. You start to harness and transmute your energy upward. You're a whole different person. You're not the same person as someone who relapses all the time. Everything that we do changes us on a molecular level. Okay? Every single cell in your body communicates with each other. And that's what creates you. That's why you look the way that you look. That's just cell communication. And based off of what you feed your cells, that's the information that it has to pass around, right? Just like I'm on this channel communicating with you guys. The information that I give you guys might help you in a positive way, right? So that's a molecular change that happens even on a micro or a macro level. So the same thing happens in us. And when you start to change on a molecular level, you don't see the same things that everybody else see. They can't understand the information that you understand. They don't feel what you feel. Right? Because I know a lot of you guys, you don't have anybody to discuss these topics with, or what you feel, or what you think with, because the people that you're around, they don't have the capacity to do that. There's levels to this game. We're all equal as far as experiencing and living life and trying to figure it out. Don't get me wrong, but there's levels even to that. Nothing wrong with that. We all grow at our own time. That's our free will. But you need to know for yourself. You see, another thing you might see that's strange is, I know for me, especially when I go outside, my magnetism is very powerful. I'm talking about animals, people, insects, the sun, the plants. I feel like everything starts to surround me and slowly enclose on me, right? Like my energy is pulling them towards me. I go to the park, man, it'd be empty. As soon as I pull up, take my shoes off and plant my feet in the ground, all of a sudden they want to start cutting grass. It gets loud. People start showing up. People walking their dogs. It's almost like everybody just got rendered in my area. Like a video game. You know how you go across the map, and as you're going across the map, you see the buildings popping in or trees popping in, people popping in. They loading in out of nowhere. That's how I feel sometimes on this journey, man. Like people will just pop in to your space just because your energy is that powerful. I literally had a squirrel run up in between my legs, like I was sitting on a bench, and it came right underneath my legs, right? And then y'all know, like I know, like squirrels is fidgety as a mug, bro. Like you point your finger the wrong way, a squirrel will run up a tree. That's how aware they are, you know? But the fact that a squirrel has enough confidence to walk right up next to me, I could have stomped on it, I could have did anything. Just shows how pure my energy was at that time, how powerful my sexual energy was at that time, right? Because look, animals are smarter than y'all think. Animals can feel energy too. That's how they move. They move off of straight vibes. Just like dogs, for example. If it's somebody that's a stranger, a dog gonna come sniff you out. It's gonna bark at you. They gotta check your temperature to see what you about, right? Are you a good person? You a bad person? You got good energy, bad energy. Animals know, man. They know more than us because animals aren't distracted by technology and the mundane things that we get sidetracked with in life, right? They still somewhat tapped into themselves and nature. So animals feel energy faster than anything. So you'll notice animals come around you just because your energy is getting pure, right? When you hold on to your sexual energy and not waste it, and then you're not thinking perverted, you're not going out here and acting on your lust, you return back to your childlike self, right? I know y'all probably seen videos of like kids playing with hummingbirds and just, I seen a video with a girl and she was making circles with a dolphin at the water park. You know what I'm saying? And she kept running. The dolphin was following her and it would follow her finger on the tank glass. That's the innocence, right? Which is powerful. So a lot of unexpected, strange things will start happening to you on this journey, man, when you take it serious. Because you start tapping into your true self. Just like when we were kids. When we were kids, we were powerful because we were still innocent and our sexual energy was intact. We wasn't playing with it. I noticed as I started going through puberty and I started like, you know, getting more into the high school years and I'm chasing women and all that, releasing my seed, I kind of lost my powers a little bit. I got dumbed down. You know, I was in the 3D. I wasn't really thinking outside the box. And every time I would hold on to my seed, even before I knew about retention, I would go weeks at a time sometimes of just not having sex or anything. And I would notice how just my whole demeanor changed. How more confident I was, calm I was, attractive I was, right? And I still remember. I remember how I used to feel. And even then I knew, okay, if I don't watch the corn or I don't look at or just not chasing women at all and being focused on myself, I see what happens. Like, I become more magnetic. I don't know why this is happening, but I see what's going on. So you're going to notice your magnetism comes to a point where even insects will come into your space. You know, bees, ants. That's not a bad thing though, right? So just know you're going to see some strange things happening to you or experiencing some strange activities, but that's because your energy is exposing the fake and bringing you what's real, right? How this world really operates. Everything we was taught was a lie, just like the Matrix. In the Matrix, everybody's living their life, going to work, doing all this stuff they think is important. Little do they know they're in a simulation. They've never even really lived life before. They've been in a battery cell. They've been in a Duracell battery all their life. That's where they was raised at. Ain't never walked, nothing. But they in this simulation, living life and thinking it's meaning something, and it means nothing. So we are upgrading, we are waking up, and we are realizing that everything we was taught was a lie. So the next time you question why are these strange things happening to you, just remember, truth is stranger than fiction. All right. And I'm gonna leave it at that. So that being said, if y'all need to speak with me, I do one-on-one consultations. Let me know in the comment section what y'all thought about the video. Peace, love, and abundance. And I'm out.